If you turn on the sports channels right now, you are practically guaranteed to hear pundits just loudly arguing over each other about the upcoming France versus Spain match. Half of them are going to say France's attack is completely unstoppable, while the other half yell that Spain's midfield will just completely dictate the pace of the game. But here's the thing, it's all just noise. Today, in this explainer, we're ignoring the loud TV pundits entirely. Instead, we're looking at the raw data to see where the smart money is actually flowing. We're going to dive into what the absolute smartest data scientists, statisticians, and high-stakes superfans really think is going to happen. And they aren't just throwing out hot takes, they are backing these opinions up with hard cash.
Now, to understand the true narrative of this epic matchup, you really have to appreciate the massive scale of the stakes involved here. We aren't looking at some random Twitter poll or a casual fan survey. Right now, there is exactly $1.4 million sitting in a single prediction market on a platform called Polymarket. Just think about that for a second. $1.4 million of real capital put on the line by people who stand to lose their shirts if their analysis is wrong. When there is literally this much money flowing into a single event, the biases and the whole fanboy mentalities just get washed away, and it leaves us with a pure, highly concentrated metric of probability.
So, what exactly are all these traders putting their hard-earned money on? Well, we have to frame the exact high-stakes question to set the stage for our probability breakdown. The market we are looking at is actually very simple, but highly specific. France versus Spain, team to advance. It's a binary outcome. It totally doesn't matter if it happens in regular time, extra time, or through the sheer drama of a penalty shootout. The only thing this market cares about is which team's name actually gets written onto the bracket for the next round.
And the data here is crystal clear about what the market expects. Looking at the real-time probability, the market gives France exactly a 60% chance to advance, leaving Spain with just 40%. Out of that entire $1.4 million pool, the consensus is heavily weighted toward the French side. Now, if you're a casual fan, you might look at a 60-40 split and think, well, that's pretty close to a coin flip. Really, anything can happen. But in the context of elite international football between two historic powerhouses, this is absolutely not a coin flip.
Because here is the crucial point. A 20-point spread is a massive statement. To the people putting serious money down, that 20-point gap speaks volumes about how this game is actually expected to play out on the pitch. When a market leans this heavily toward one team, it usually comes down to structural advantages, things like depth and speed. The market is pricing in France's proven system and their terrifying ability to strike on the counterattack. The data basically suggests that even if Spain dominates, say, 65% of the possession with their classic passing game, the smart money knows that possession doesn't always equal goals. Spain's 40% probability isn't an insult at all, it's just a reflection of risk. Spain requires a near-perfect system to win. If even one gear is off, the French attack will absolutely punish them. The algorithms and the bettors clearly see France's style of play as statistically safer and just way less prone to catastrophic errors in knockout football.
Now you might be wondering where exactly we're getting this incredibly specific real-time data. Well, we're pulling these numbers from a platform called Predacle. It's a prediction market aggregator. Basically, it pulls public data from across the internet, specifically tracking the real-time average of thousands of different bets across multiple platforms to reveal where the global money is flowing. This is what we call the wisdom of the crowd. That 60% number isn't just made up by one analyst sitting at a desk somewhere. It is the real-time average of thousands of people factoring in every possible variable: injuries, historical matchups, referee tendencies, literally even locker room morale.
All right, let's dive into part one, the mechanics of calculating the payout.
Because in the world of prediction markets, it's not just about who wins the match. It's about what the market actually pays out based on the risk you take. Let's walk through how Predacle's built-in bet calculator breaks down the real numbers. If you were to place a $100 bet on France to advance right now, essentially buying into that 60% yes probability, your potential profit, if you're correct, is calculated at exactly $68.07. This is the tangible reality of the market. You are putting up $100 to win roughly 68 because France is the clear favorite. The market demands you risk more to win less when you're backing the statistically likely outcome.
So that brings your total payout to $168.07, which is exactly a 68% total return on your initial bet. Seeing that 68% figure really turns these abstract high-level probabilities into a very tangible high-stakes reality. It shows exactly how confident the market is. If you want to back the favorite, you have to accept a lower premium. Conversely, if you were to back Spain at 40%, your potential return on investment would be significantly higher, mathematically rewarding you for taking on that less likely scenario.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second for part two, the bigger picture and the 2026 World Cup winner odds. When we zoom out from this single matchup, you can see the broader market heavily favors France on a macro level too.
Just look at these probabilities for winning the entire 2026 World Cup outright. France is sitting at a massive 39% probability to win the whole thing. They are securely ahead of Spain, who is at 20%, and right behind Spain is Argentina at 19%. That means the market genuinely believes France is nearly twice as likely to win the next World Cup as Spain is. This broader context absolutely validates the 60-40 split we're seeing in their direct matchup.
And honestly, just look at the sheer scale of the money tied up in these outright winner markets. Both of these teams command well over $100 million in market volume for the overall World Cup win. France has $112.9 million in volume, and Spain has $104.4 million. That is nearly $250 million focused just on these two powerhouses taking home the trophy. It really proves just how much intense global attention and sheer financial weight is focused on every single pass, every shot, and every managerial decision these two nations make.
Actually, scratch that. While we're looking at this data, I have to briefly highlight a totally fascinating quirk in these prediction markets. Look at Norway and Switzerland here. They currently have a 0% probability of winning the World Cup. 0. Yet look at their market volumes. Norway has $137.3 million, and Switzerland has $132.8 million in volume. How on earth does a team with a literally 0% chance have over $130 million traded on them? Well, it's because prediction markets capture the entire history of trading. At some point earlier in the tournament cycle, people were trading heavily on these teams. Now that they're effectively eliminated, the probability hits 0, sure, but that massive trading volume remains baked into the system's history, which really emphasizes the staggering long-term scale of this overall market.
But the absolute most important thing to remember here is that this data is alive. Predacle notes that they allow you to browse over 7,200 markets across 6 platforms, and the data is refreshed every 30 minutes. So that 60% number for France, it isn't static. If a key French player twists his ankle in training, or if there's a sudden change in the weather that heavily favors Spain's passing game, this market is going to react instantly. The 60% will fluctuate as thousands of traders immediately adjust their positions. A TV pundit might take a full 24 hours to record a new segment and correct their opinion, but the global financial market adjusts in real time.
So what does this all mean for us? The hard data says France advances 60 times out of 100, but that still means Spain survives 40 times out of 100. And as we all know, football is played on grass, not on spreadsheets. A single brilliant strike or one lucky bounce can upend millions of dollars in an instant. I'll definitely be tracking these numbers live to see exactly how the odds swing with every single tackle and yellow card. But the question I want to leave you with today is this. Do you trust the $1.4 million of smart money favoring France, or are you riding with the Spanish underdog to completely break the algorithm? Let me know what you think. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and enjoy the match.